Hello and welcome anybody, everybody, but probably nobody. This is ThorW and I'm here to teach you guys how to do Tower of Despair floors 21 through 25 as a monk. So let's go. Floor 21, Angry Booyong, is a female striker who casts super armor and power fist on herself at the beginning of the round. Her main abilities that she's going to use are going to be Beat Drive, Tornado Kick, and Lightning Dance. Outside of that, she does have access to other striker skills, including Low Kick and whatnot. But in general, what you're going to see are the Tornado Kick, the Beat Drive, or the Lightning Dance, so do watch out for those. These are all X-axis skills, and as long as you are able to stay off of the immediate X-axis in front of her, you will be incredibly safe. Use the Y-axis to your advantage. She is very susceptible to being grabbed into a combo. Once her super armor begins to dwindle in time, be sure to have a tornado up. It will interrupt the cast of her next super armor, and she becomes extremely vulnerable to any kind of juggling or any kind of setups and follow-ups that you want. She will heal periodically through the fight, but it's not going to be anything major. It's maybe a bar of health. All in all, this is a very easy fight. Shouldn't give you guys too much trouble. You should be able to take her down, use your cube skills, and stay off of the immediate X-axis in front of her. You should be able to take her down pretty easily. For floor 22, I did a slightly different skill build, as you can see. This guy is very vulnerable to being juggled, so I maxed out ducking upper and second upper. Floor 22 is Fashionable Rakelm. This guy has an incredibly high amount of hit stun on his attacks, so do be careful not to get hit by them. His main attacks are to spam a very low cooldown windmill, a mock kick, and any sort of normal gunfire. Those are the main three things you're going to have to watch out for. Windmill does have Y-axis coverage, so he's a little bit more dangerous to approach on the Y-axis than most opponents we've faced so far. Mock Kick and the regular gunshot are both completely X-axis based. As I said before, this guy is completely vulnerable to juggling. He has no big gimmicks other than the high hit stun on his moves. If you set yourself up with a maxed out ducking upper and second upper, you can infinite juggle this guy. It's no problem whatsoever. He should be one of the easier floors for you guys, especially considering he doesn't have any of those dangerous gimmicks that we normally see. Let's move on. Floor 23, Monk of Exorcism, Myung Ho. This is an exorcist that specializes in using White Tiger, especially. Holy Amulet and Red Phoenix are two things that he likes to spam as well. The White Tigers that he places down onto the field are definitely his specialty though. These things have incredibly high health and are very difficult to remove from the field. It's a lot easier to just play around them than trying to get rid of them. In addition to this, Myung Ho is very heavy and very difficult to juggle, so you're going to want to make sure that you do not have your second upper or ducking upper leveled up too much for this. They won't see a whole lot of use, or at least not the most effective use. All in all, stay out of the area where his White Tiger is bouncing around and beat him up, and it shouldn't be too difficult for yourself. Space yourself, poke him down, be nice and careful around him. Floor 24 is a triple threat of Agent Amina. Unfortunately, my recording failed a little bit, so I start that round off by dying, because I wanted to make sure I could get as much as I could out of it. Anyway, Agent Amina is a female launcher that likes to use Stare and the two flamethrowers. The two fire flamethrowers, no ice flamethrowers. Anyway, the only threat from this particular enemy is across the X-axis. If you are on a different Y-axis than this opponent, you are going to be perfectly safe. She has no Y-axis coverage whatsoever. Make use of it. They're all susceptible to being juggled if you want to do that. It's a very easy floor as long as you put yourself in the right position. Floor 25 is a 4-room sequence with a witch in each room. The first witch we will beat is Maple Logic Star. She likes to use Lantern Firebomb, cast Lava Potion number 9. She has access to Phase Shift, which she will use to get away from you, and she can summon a special familiar that will follow the player around, and cast Meteor on the player's position periodically. So be sure to watch out for that. In addition to all this witch and all of the others on this floor are heavy, so they will be very difficult to juggle. So that strategy is going to be a little bit difficult to pull off. The easiest way to deal with this particular witch is to stay off of the immediate X-axis in front of her, poke them down with your tornadoes, and keep yourself out of that lava. Moving on, the second room of floor 25, Birch Tionia, uses Enhanced Magic Missile and Flore Collider. On top of this, she does have access to Phase Shift, she is heavy like all of the other witches, and she summons a special familiar that will follow the player around and cast lightning on the player periodically, so do be careful of that. Once again, the easiest way to deal with this particular opponent is to poke them down, keep pressure on when you can. Moving on over, our next opponent is Winter Pine Kubre. She spams Frosty's Head, uses Acid Rain, has access to Phase Shift, and has two special abilities. The first will summon Ice Ball Louis onto the field. The Ice Ball Louis are very weak, very easy to kill, and not very dangerous. Just get rid of them immediately. And the final is to summon a special familiar that will follow the player around and cast Avalanche on the player's position periodically. This particular skill is a lot more dangerous than the other familiars have been so far. Avalanche can freeze you in place and hold you in place, setting you up to take more and more damage, so do be careful of that. Not to mention, Avalanche is a little buggy in this game, and it could lag you out of the game if you get hit by it, so do be very careful of that. Once again, easiest way to deal with this, poke them when you can, and get in when it's safe. The final opponent of this floor is Magnolia Raponpon, who spams a giant fly swatter and uses Gravitas as her main forms of damage. She does have access to Phase Shift as all the other witches and is heavy, so juggling is once again a very difficult option. Her special ability is to summon not one, but a chance of multiple familiars that will follow the player and use giant fly swatter on the player if they get near him. The easiest way to deal with her is to wait for the familiars to disappear and then apply heavy pressure to her. Being right in front of her on the x-axis is dangerous, so try and get behind her. All in all, she's relatively easy. The floor overall, relatively easy. It is a gauntlet, so leveling heal might help you guys out. That's it for this week. Hopefully you guys made it through the Tower of Despairs. I'll see you guys next week where we'll be tackling floors 26 through 30. Bye-bye, everybody.